All right, today we'll be running a load test and we'll be focusing purely on that for this process, not about what's going on and what it's solving at the moment. So how it kind of works is we're deployed on EKS, AWS EKS, and we have multiple pods. One of them is a Nginx. There's two Nginx load balancers that take a bunch of Slack requests, then distribute the load across a bunch of Spring Boot servers that handle logic. Some of those logics also even go to a dedicated, if you want to calculate the team score, it'll go to another load balancer, which go to a bunch of C++ microservices, which I don't have here right now at the moment, because our test revolves around load balancer, Spring Boot, then there's a Postgre lookup, then back to the client. We also have horizontally scaling set up, but we won't really be using it because we're going to be kind of pushing our limits of what our script is going to be running. I'm just going to run it actually right now, the script, and while I explain it. Um, it's also while we do that, let's grab an example. All right, so yeah, it's running right now. The test is running right now. While that's happening, I'll explain the advantage of this system is that it decouples the process, meaning that we can have, example, we have 100 Spring Boot servers, 100 C++ microservice. Oh, okay, there we go. It's going. And we realized that this process is not being utilized as much. So we can lower it down to like 20 and keep this at 100 and save costs over here. Or we can increase it more if we need to do it at that moment without increasing the cost of everything. Um, that is an advantage because I also made it quite really fast, this service, C++, using gRPC. I actually heard something from internet that if it's a different language, it's actually slightly slower. Might have just done, should have done just in Java. But you can see over here, I did like inverse multiplication for calculating like the team averages instead of division. I did only one for loop, and it's kind of like highly optimized process. For our thing, this is our load test that we just ran. And this is the simulation. We have our command, we have a randomized user, we have this response URL that doesn't actually go anywhere. And yeah, that's our load test, post requests. I'll delete this after, don't worry. Um, where's the one that just finished 2 minutes ago? All right, so let's see the logs. Hope I didn't make any silly mistakes like last time. I'm just gonna go on CloudWatch right away, and you should see pretty good percentage. There we go. Okay, this is a very good percentage right here. We have 1.31 failure rate, and we tested 100,000 requests per second. And actually, surprisingly, we had an average of 124 PostgreSQL lookups. Obviously, a lot of these PostgreSQL lookups were all of them actually were probably like not found, not found, not found. But that's actually quite fast, and I'm actually impressed by that. So there you have it. That was my load test, and these are the numbers, and it's all deployed right here. One of the things I also had to work around was actually AWS actually limits for like initial user how many nodes, how many CPUs and RAM you can actually use until you ask for a quota. So that was something I had to work around. I could probably maybe even get higher if I was allowed more CPUs, even though I'm willing to spend the money, right? So this is kind of like my little passion project. I will be adding and load testing across all the other um, commands that'll be each of them having their own processes and whatnot. The real main one I want to test is this kind of decoupled C++ and Spring Boot one. One of the things I want to mention is that all this is kind of just on my own intuition and watching YouTube videos and kind of going kind of trying to research as much as I can and creating a scalable infrastructure. So I'm really proud about the fact that it did work somewhat well. I'm gonna be straightforward. If you're an employer, like I would love to have the opportunity to have like some sort of like, senior engineer or mid-level engineer or anyone just kind of bounce off ideas. So, if you're an employer, maybe shoot me a interview if you like this video. Thank you so much. Have a great day.